Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard British Airways Flight 707 bound for Prague.
I'm Andrea, one of the participants in this trip to Sweden, and today I'm going to interview my classmates and the teachers who have accompanied us on the trip, so they can tell us what their experience has been like. For me, it has been a new experience that I was able to share with an incredible people, and I will never forget this trip. So let's not waste more time and start! Well, we are here with our first guest, Maka, the coordinator and person that has made it possible for us to work on this project. Then, Maka, can you briefly explain what the trip consisted of?
The trip is part of our Erasmus Plus project, which is related to the care for the environment. As you know, it's called Zero Waste, and we are trying to investigate how every country deals and every school deals with this idea of sustainability and trying to become zero waste habitants of this planet. And then we traveled to Sweden in order to investigate this kind of thing and to be working with the other partners in the group.
Perfect. Now that we have a clear context, we can start with the interesting things, with the thinking questions. Okay, what did you like most about the trip and what did you like the least?
I really enjoyed how you, the students, got adapted to new situations, to meeting new people, to dealing with your partners and with some problems we had on our trip. And I liked it very much how you reacted and how the relationship amongst all of you changed. At the same time, of course, I was hoping that Sweden would bring interesting things to the project, and of course it happened. You know that we visited a second-hand mall, which was amazing. I wanted to bring the idea to Ferrol or to Spain. It's difficult to do that here because they have a really good organization. And I also liked very much the way they organized everything, even without being a real part of the project in the moment when we visited Sweden.
I very agree with you. Next question, what do you take away from the trip and what have you learned about it?
What I've learned? I've learned that in Sweden they really do nice things in terms of the care for the environment and sustainability, for example. And also the facilities they have at school are amazing. I was very surprised when I saw that you could connect an electric device to something which was hanging from the ceiling and which had kind of 4 or more places where you could just connect your device and start working. And it's, I don't know, this idea of logical organization Swedish people or Nordic people in general have.
I think we have all learned something from this trip and that we will remember it some way, I think. And the last question, what activity you think about the education in Sweden would you like to have here in Spain?
Maybe the flexibility you find there and how students take part in the, I don't know, in the general organization of the school, and also some new subjects, like the one of cooking. Why not? I think it would be nice to learn how to cook at school.
I like your answer, and I think that as a teacher you will have to find a lot of difference between Sweden and Spain. So having a teacher's point of view on this is perfect, because what better than a person who inputs and is guided by the Spanish educational system. Well, that's it for the interview, Maca. Thank you very much for joining with us. See you.
Thank you so much to you for interviewing me. And I just would like to add one small thing.
Yes,
I was really impressed in Sweden, for example, when we could see those little children so young. I don't know how old they were, maybe 4 or 5, doing everything at lunchtime on their own. I would love to have this here.
I think Sweden is another world in comparison with Spain, so amazing trip.
Thank you so much.
Okay, here we are with our next guest, Adriana. Hi Adriana, welcome. So tell us about your experience in Sweden. What did you like most about the trip, and what did you like the least?
Well, firstly, I would say that the thing that I enjoyed the most there was sharing the experience with that amazing people and with my own classmates. And what I liked this?
Yes.
I don't know. The whole experience was amazing, and I spent a really good time there. But if I had to choose one thing, I would say saying goodbye to my friends and the people I meet abroad.
Nice. I don't know if your classmates will agree with you, but I like your answer.
Thank you.
Good. What do you take away from the trip, and what have you learned?
Hard question.
Personal, but
what I take away from the trip?
yes.
I learned lots of things, not just from taking care about the environment and the project in general, but I also learned lots of things about socializing, the cultures of the people, because there were a lot of people from different countries. I don't know. That's it.
I think the answer to this question is personal and would be impossible to find one that is debatable.
It's hard.
So, and the last question: what activity or thing about the education in Sweden would you like to have in Spain?
When we were at the school, I was like shocked because the people.
Me too.
I don't know. It was different.
Yes.
Just different. The people seemed relaxed, which here is impossible because we are like straight, and I don't know. I didn't spend that much time to have a big idea, clear idea of how does it work, but from my point of view and from what I said when I saw, I think the relationship between the teachers and the students was, I don't know, impressive.
Yes. I agree many of the things that they have in their education.
Yeah, and the
so with this, I can add a few more points to my list. Adriana, thank you for joining with us today. It has a pleasure. See you, goodbye, and have a nice day. Okay, here we are with our next guest, Raul. Hi Raul, how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, thank you for being with us today. So tell us about your experience in Sweden. What did you like most about the trip, and what did you like the least?
Well, I think that the most thing that I really enjoyed was being with my friends 1 week. I think that it was really funny being with them. The last thing that the thing that I didn't like it too much was doing the projects, because I don't think that we're really
Learn.
I don't think that I learned too much with them.
Okay.
With the project of with making the PowerPoints and
Yes,
things.
yes, I understand. I don't know if your classmates will agree with you, but I like your answer. Good. What do you take away from the trip, and what have you learned?
So the thing that I learned was maybe the tranquility of the country and how people speak with each other, and also what I learned with the places that we visited. Yeah, I think that.
I think the answer to this question is personal, and it will be impossible to find one that is debatable. So,
Yeah.
and the last question: what activity or thing about the education in Sweden would you like to have in Spain?
I think that what I take from the education there was the relation between teachers and students, and also the space in the playtime. I think that it was really good how they do the playtime there.
I agree with you, and now I think that I can add a few more points to my list. So Raul, thank you for joining with us today. It has been a pleasure.
Me too.
See you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, our next guest is Ida. Hi, Ida. Thank you for joining with us today. Since you are one of the members of the trip to Sweden, I would you tell us how your experience there has been. What did you like most about the trip, and what did you like the least?
Okay, the best part was the experience learning about a new country. In another hand, the best part was the bathrooms of the hostel.
Yes.
I didn't like the food, the meals so much, but it's okay.
Right. I don't know if your classmates will agree with you, but I like your answer, and I think that it's interesting. Well, what do you take away from the trip, and what have you learned?
Okay, obviously I take away magnets, but I think that the most important part were the friends that I meet in the travel, and I think that the experiences and the stories are going to be unbelievable too.
I think the answer to this question is personal, and it would be impossible to find one that is debatable. So, and the last question: what activity or thing about education in Sweden would you like to have here in Spain?
Cooking lessons.
Yes, I very agree with you. So this is all for today. Thank you very much for joining with us today. Well, our next guest is Elena. Well, Elena, thank you for joining with us today. Since you're one of the members of the trip to Sweden, I would like you to tell us your experience there has been. What did you like most about the trip, and what did you like the least?
I like having to know about Sweden and its inhabitants' lifestyle. Also, I like how beautiful the country is.
Interesting answer, I like it. What do you take away from the trip, and what have you learned?
The importance of recycling and caring for the environment.
Cool. And the last question, what activity or thing about education in Sweden would you like to have here in Spain?
That each foreign student can learn their native language at class.
I agree with you. Thank you very much for your time. That's it all for today. Bye. Well, the next person who we will join with us today is Sarah. Welcome, Sarah. Well, tell us, as a participant in the project, what did you like the most about the trip and what did you like the least?
Well, I think that the thing that I probably liked the most was getting to visit new places. And the thing that I liked the least was having to say goodbye, I think.
I love the variety of answers that I get on this question, but at the same time, many of you are agree, so it's very interesting. Well, what do you take away from the trip and what have you learned?
Well, I think that I take away a lot of good friendships and new experiences, and that I've learned a lot about the environment and what we can do for helping the planet be more clean.
That sounds cool, and maybe hitting this will motivate more people to join on the project the next year. So, and the last question, what activity or think about the education in Sweden would you like to have here in Spain?
Well, I think I would take the variety of subjects that they have there. Like they can learn a lot of languages and a lot of skills. So I would really like to have that here.
I agree with you, and I think that are necessary things. And it's very curious the difference between the countries. So, well, that's it for the interview. Thank you very much for your time. So, see you. The next person who will join with us today is George. Welcome, George. Well, tell us, as a participant in the project, what did you like the most about the trip and what did you like the least?
First, being with my friends, obviously, I think the two visits to Stockholm for me is a very beautiful city, and I really enjoy the two visits.
I love the variety of answers that I have in this question. Some of you are agreed, so it's very interesting. Well, what do you take away from the trip and what have you think that you learned?
The experience about travel to another country, and in addition, the Sweden country has a very different culture between here as well. The friends that we meet there, yes, that's it. The friends, all of them was very good people, all of them.
That sounds really cool, and I think that people hitting this maybe are motivated to participate in the project, so I like it. Well, the last question, what activity or think about education in Sweden would you like to have here in Spain?
The relations between teacher and student. I think that's a thing that here in Spain is not very common, but it's so good because if you like your teacher, you will enjoy her subjects.
Yes, I agree with you, and I think that there are necessary things that we don't have, so it's really interesting the difference between the countries. Well, that is it for today, so thank you very much, George, for joining with us today. So, see you. Another member of the group of students who traveled to Sweden is Andrea. So, Andrea, tell us, what did you like the most about the trip and what did you like the least?
What I most liked about the trip maybe was the people. They were very nice people. And the thing that I less liked maybe was the recycling center because it smells so bad.
Yes.
And it's stick to the clothes. And they smell very bad.
It was an interesting response. Well, what do you take away from the trip and what have you learned?
I didn't learn anything at all, but I think maybe I have a better pronunciation now in English. Maybe. And only that.
I like your answer, I think. And the last question, what activity or thing about education in Sweden would you like to have here in Spain?
Maybe having some break times every class and having more things to play, some billiards, some more tennis, more ping
Yeah,
pong,
I agree with you.
tables.
I think they are necessary things. So Andrea, it has been all. Thank you very much for staying with us today. Another member of the group of students who traveled to Sweden is Vega.
Hello.
So Vega, tell us, what did you like most about the trip and what did you like the least?
The thing that I like the most of the trip is the people of the group of Erasmus, like the Romanians, the Swedish people, and the Polish. And the least, I think that saying goodbye, it was so hard because I have a lot of friends there.
I agree with you. Well, what do you take away from the trip and what have you learned?
I think that I have learned English because talking all the day in English is like practicing more. And the one thing that I learned is like you can do very good friends in a very short time.
I like your answer and I think some of your classmates are agree with you. Since we have talked about this behind these things. And the last question, what activity or thing about education in Sweden would you like to have here in Spain?
I would like to have a kitchen in the institute to prepare things like when we work there, we do like a dinner, so we can do it here.
In conclusion, we should update the educational system of Spain, I think. Vega, this has been all. Thank you so much for joining with us.
You're welcome.
See you. Well, our next guest is Isabella. Hi, Isabella.
Hi.
Thank you for being with us today. Since you are one of the members of the trip to Sweden, and I would like you to tell us how your experience there has been. What did you like most about the trip and what did you like the least?
The thing I liked the most was meeting new people and discovering that I'm more extroverted than I thought.
Okay, I think that it's a very nice answer. Well, okay, the next question is what do you take away from the trip and what have you think or what have you learned about the trip?
I take away the experience. I learned about another costumes of the different countries we had talk.
Yeah, I very agree with you. And I think that the answer to this question is personal and it will be impossible to find something that is debatable. So I like the variety of answers. The last question of the interview. What activity or thing about education in Sweden would you like to have here in Spain? What do you miss here?
I think it was how the teachers were so close to the students and how they fostered the friendship among them.
Yeah, I very agree with you, and I think that these things, like the relationship between student and teacher, is very important. And here in Spain, you can found this. So I'm very happy about Sweden educational system. Well, Isabella, thank you for staying with us today, and see you on the next class.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Chele Gundin. Until recently, my knowledge of Sweden was just based on one week trip I made with other teachers some years ago to visit some nursery schools. It was then when I realized how self-reliant the Swedish children were, and we are talking 3 years old kids. By contrast, here in Spain, in Galicia, we are bringing up our children in a very overprotective way. We don't teach them to be self-sufficient, which is my belief, can be highly dangerous. What truly surprised me this time around was the hospitality, the friendliness, the painstaking way in which the Swedish cared for us. It was a completely different experience this time, where I saw certain coolness, even emotional detachment on my first trip. Now I could only remember friendly, sympathetic, and affectionate behavior. I would love for our students in Spain to be able to work in groups, accepting and sharing responsibilities in the same manner I saw the Swedish students work. Even among different nationalities, student groups put forward excellent presentation on the theme of the cities of the future. It was great work, especially in such a small amount of time. It was made obvious to me how much they were used to give an oral explanation of their work, which as a language teacher I find the most important thing for my students to learn. We give so much relevance to writing essays and exams, when the truly vital thing is how to form and enunciate ideas in a clear and coherent way. What did I like less of the trip? Sincerely, coming back. It was the general feeling among us. Even if I had previous experiences, other trips, none of them was so rewarding as this one. Getting to know the people working behind the scenes, making this project possible, was the peak of the journey for me. I feel very proud of my participation on this project, and I hope that the feeling is a collective one. I look forward to the rest of the modalities to go as well as this one did, that is to say, perfectly. Thank you very much.